Okay. So once the Indian Removal Act was set in stone, this came down to the Trail of Tears, what it was called, okay? The Cherokee, or whatever, I do not know how to say this, um, or Trail Where They Cried. Okay, that's what the Cherokee called it. Trail Where They Cried. In 1838, that was the deadline that the Cherokees and all of them had to move. Okay, they had to move west. They had to move to the Great Plains. President Van Buren, okay, this was after Andrew Jackson's presidency. So now we are on the eighth president, okay? President Van Buren. He sent General Winfield Scott and 7,000 troops to enforce the removal of the Cherokees, okay? 15,000 Cherokees relocated, more than 1,000 miles long, and mostly on foot. Okay, so you're walking 1,000 miles and you were barefoot. Okay, barefoot. 2,000 died from illness, awaiting in camps, and 2,000 died of hunger and exposure to bad weather. Okay, so this was not a fun trip. Okay, this isn't just like your family getaway, like you're driving along in a car. No, like you don't have any food. Okay, they didn't have any food. The illness was rampant. Okay, there wasn't a lot of sewage system. There was no sewage systems. Um, so if you were weak and if you were older, you would most likely have died in this. Okay, so maybe there we go. Okay, this is kind of what it would have looked like, the forcible removal. So those 7,000 troops and President Van Buren would have gone to each house of the Cherokees and forcibly grabbed you out of your house and said, "You need to leave now." Okay? You need to leave now or we will arrest you. And this is what is being depicted here. Okay, this guy's getting arrested. You had a woman here with a baby. Okay, they didn't care how old you were leaving. Okay, they didn't care if you were 2 months old, they didn't care if you were 30. Okay, you were leaving. Trail of Tears, this is kind of what it would have looked like. They had to pack up their whole life, okay, by 1838 and move west. Okay, you had all their horses, their kids, all the wagons for people that couldn't walk very long distances. Like I said, they were walking 1,000 miles. Okay, you were going to get tired. So, there are some main questions and things that you need to think about here during this. I will put a discussion board after this video to answer these questions. Okay, so President Jackson, he claimed to represent the common man. Okay, that's what his whole thing was about. Yet he advocated for forcible removal of Indians from their homes to the west. Okay, so all those claims that he wanted to help the poor, he wanted to help those people less fortunate than others, yet he's going to go now and say, "Hey, you can't live here, you have to move." Does this destroy his claim? Why or why not? Okay. Now, like it says, there is no right answer, but thinking through this question is important. Who was the common man? Okay, that you think. Who was the common man? Do we take into account that Jackson lived in a time with different values or not? Okay. So that's what you need to think through. You need to think through what he represented. Okay, who was the common man during this time that he thought? Okay, and why was it right for him to force these people out of their homes if he was representing the common man? Okay, so there will be a link, not a link, a discussion board down below. After this, just type in what you think. Does this destroy his claim or not for advocating for the common man? Okay. Um, that is it for today. Make sure you are still doing the brainstorming activity that I posted at the beginning of the week. That will be due on Monday the 27th.